Okay, good afternoon, everybody. The four of us worked at Underwriter's laboratory this summer, and I gotta say it was a pretty good experience. A little bit of back on UL, what their mission is, basically to test each and every product that you would use in your everyday life and even the occasional, maybe one-time thing in your life. They also do this by researching data, and any product they test, they keep a record of it and keep on testing it so often to make sure that it still complies with the results. Just a little bit of backstory on UL. It was founded in 1894 by William Henry Merrill. The first test they ever conducted was in March 24th, 1894, on non-combustible insulation. Basically the stuff that goes in your house to make sure it's still warm in the winter. In 2009, UL began validating environmental product claims. Basically any product that said that it was good for the environment, they truly began testing and holding to that standard, so basically couldn't just lie about it. Okay, the department I worked in this summer was health sciences, and I worked mainly in the lab for all 8 weeks. Well, when you think about health sciences, what do you think? Medical equipment or something doctors use. That is what they test in health sciences. They test plenty of equipment from just scalpels all the way to exam beds and heavier things. What they test is also to make sure not only the product works right, but it's safe for the doctors, nurses, the medical staff, and also if the patient won't get hurt while using it. A few of the things we tested was exam beds, body probes, industrial ovens, circuit boards, and some other things. Like we actually got this very big body freezer in. We didn't get a chance to get to it yet because it's so big. They're trying to decide who's going to handle it. And some of the things we just tested it for was to make sure the product would work if it was damaged or a procedure. Maybe a doctor is trying to reach something and he knocks it over. We also test to make sure that the product does what it's supposed to. For example, beds, they have standards saying they can hold supposedly 500 pounds. What UL does, they test that up to 4 times as much weight. So a bed that can hold 500 pounds, it should really be able to hold somewhere around 2,000 pounds or more, just in case all the equipment plus the doctors leaning on it. They wouldn't want the bed to fail during the middle of the presentation and, well, surgery and cause the patient to die. So it was pretty fun. And some of the things we tested was just to make sure the product was overall safe. If there was a lightning strike, would the outside of the product become electrical and shock basically a doctor, creating another patient and just messing up the whole surgery. Some interesting things that I learned and took from the thing was the importance of safety in the lab. Basically they make sure all the technicians or engineers who work in the lab, they make sure they're safe by use of personal protection equipment, which is goggles, steel-toed shoes, because when you drop something on your foot, it sucks. I dropped a piece of wood this thick, and I couldn't walk for like most of the day. I felt stupid. And I'm like, man, I wish I had steel-toed shoes. So some other important things we learned were how to take records and record data correctly, because even if we do the test and it passed, they need to have a record of it to go back and say, well, yeah, they did pass, or basically just saying that in the past they were good, but now they need to make these changes. And also we keep those records for those that don't pass. We can help them to build on their foundation. Another thing I learned was how to use a whole bunch of different tools. For example, a dielectric machine is a machine that adds somewhere around from 1,000 volts anywhere up to 20,000 volts to a machine, just making sure the outside never draws any of that electricity shocking you. And also I learned that when you're measuring things, you go for it, not only the integrity, safety, but the general workability of the product. Even if it's the safest thing ever, if it doesn't do what it's supposed to, you can't really call it a good product. And that was what I did in my 8 weeks. Introducing Dr. Harris.